Hello and welcome to News Sources. With the general election just days away, the race is hotting up, and even then President Uhuru Kenyatta chose not to attend the much-anticipated presidential debate. NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga ruled the roost for 90 minutes, but did he make a convincing case? Join me, Julie Masiga, and my guests as we discuss this and other issues from the week in politics. But first, the highlights.
We are prepared to do our part. It is not our responsibility as government or security sector to conduct elections. It is the responsibility of IEBC.
We're interested in the final result. If you read the Court of Appeal decision, the understanding we have is that we don't have to spend a lot of time doing the announcement.
Unajua wenzetu huko wa magazeti wanafikiri wanatisha wengine. Mimi niwaambia hata 2013 hawakuniunga mkono. Hata safari hii wakikataa kuniunga mkono shauri yao.
There are people who have been mentioned, who had been mentioned, including ministers in that country. There are two of my officers, my chief of staff and my permanent secretary. I immediately asked them to step aside.
Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has overhauled the manner in which election results are announced and will not be issuing regular updates on results streaming in at the National Tallying Center, as was the case in past elections. The Commission says it will only make one official declaration on presidential election results once it receives all official scanned results from the 338 tallying centers countrywide. Duncan Hayamba attended the IEBC briefing at the National Tallying Center at the Bomas of Kenya and brings us the details.
We're interested in the final result. If you read the Court of Appeal decision, the understanding we have is that we don't have to spend a lot of time doing the announcement. What we need to do is to collect all the results as presented to us by the returning officers to allow us now to announce the final result. Now, what we do not expect is that the returning officers are going to come to Nairobi in the first instance. They will come to Nairobi, yes, but not for purposes of declaration of results, because those results should have been scanned at the tallying center.
Prepared to do our part. It is not our responsibility as government or security sector to conduct elections. It is the responsibility of IEBC.
Right, before we start, welcome to the show. Joined today by Danish Odongo, who is a political commentator, and Sarah Bakata, long time no see, Sarah, a journalist at the Nation Media Group. Right next to her, Betty Waitherero, who is a political commentator, and right next to me here is Ramadan Rajab, who is also a journalist. Welcome to the show, guys, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting with IEBC and the slight changes it seems to be introducing at this late stage. I'll start with you, Danish. What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like it's a breakdown of communication because it's not coming out clearly what they mean and what that means to the country. I really want to urge the CEO, Ezra Chiloba, and the entire board to ensure that they communicate in terms of clarity so that people are not given unnecessary tension, or we no longer have to, begin to spread rumors and start to excite passions for no good reason. I personally want to believe that it's more or less like lack of clear communication. They might mean it right, it might be a good thing, but it's not coming out clear. I personally struggle to understand it. I read this story.
Well, from my understanding, they're saying that they will not be announcing provisional results, of course, because the results are streaming electronically from the regions. What they will do is the media will have access to that stream, as will the public on the website. What they will do is announce the final tally. Sarah, do you think that's a good way to go, or should they be updating and kind of reassuring Kenyans every step of the way?
Actually, I was also lost with that kind of information. In fact, I wondered what informed that decision. Because if you ask me, if you don't get provisional results, let's say hourly or even 3 hourly or half a day, that leaves room for people to start speculating and to tell people that we are going to release results periodically. We don't know how long that period is, as you pointed out. We don't know the length of time they're going to take. And we've got how many? Over 300? They're going to
338 tallying centers.
Tallying centers. it could take 4 days. What are we supposed to be doing for 3 days?
Well, I think the argument is they have an electronic results transmission system so that everybody will be able to go onto their website and the media will have a stream of steady information of the votes being counted. They're saying that they won't be every hour or so saying this is how far we've come, presidential results are this, such and such. They will wait till all results are in and then announce a final one.
Then they're giving into the same argument that says, if you don't give us results, as soon as you get them, we are going to make up our own results. We're going to announce our own results. Guys are going to start banding around numbers, and then what happens? Whom are they going to blame?
Yeah, perhaps that might be a recipe for some confusion and chaos, Betty.
Yes.
Well, you see, just like Sarah said, how would you tell, okay, you have all these media houses having access to the same websites, the same tallies, but, you know, you don't know which is a correct, you know, what's the correct tally at the time, because, and it's concerning because why wouldn't IEBC do it in a regular manner, as, you know, we had previously understood it to be done? And so that the media houses themselves get the official tally from the IEBC and not in a manner where, you know, we don't know, should we wait 4 hours? It's live, it's something that will be covered live, it's something that is concerning the entire country, and I think they should take it a lot more seriously than they have so far.
Yeah, I agree with you to some extent, but my understanding is that these are IEBC officials right from the constituency level, right? So the people who are feeding information into this electronic results transmission system are IEBC officials. I think what the National Tallying Center at Bomas is saying is that they won't be announcing, but there will be access to those results, Rajab.
But I think what I read in this is a commission hell-bent to being cheeky. Because you look at it, what will they be doing at the National Tallying Center? What Kenyans expected is to hold them to account. Holding them to account, it means if the results from polling station A is announced, we agree that constituency results are final. When the returning officer announces it, it's final. So when these results stream in, why can't they tell us from constituency A, we have gotten, like, let's say, Stare, we've gotten 100,050 for candidate A, 130,000 from candidate B. Why are they not willing to really tell us this, so as people can do comparison from what the returning officer announced and what they're streaming? Because this tallying, they want to wait until the last minute and then put it together. It's one way of running away from scrutiny. People can't do comparison.
But aren't we talking about out of both sides of our mouth? Tanisha, go ahead.
Julie, actually, the challenge is we are having over 300 tallying centers, or over 300?
338 tallying centers.
Over 338 tallying centers. Or if maybe 100 of them we've got issues with the network and transmission of those results. You're telling us that 100 tallying centers that have declared results on the ground, we're not seeing that in the tallying center because we're still waiting for them to maybe be ferried here for them to bring the hard copies of the documents. And we are waiting for that entire time for us to be anxious. Why do they want to give us answers for no good reason?
But I'm asking, what will be this national tallying center?
And in plus,
it will be tallying. It will be tallying.
I also wanted to say that while all those are IEBC officials, we have faith in the CEO, we have faith in the commission, who have been the face of the commission.
Right.
We need them to come out and tell us that this result is like this. But for them to just fold their arms and say that, oh, returning officers are final and let us now wait for them to give us results.
This is what some people have been fighting for, though, is for the constituency results to be final, which I think is what IEBC is kind of saying. Everybody has access to these results, so if it's announced at constituency, those are the results.
What do you mean by everybody?
Because what if the website crashes? I mean, what if that happens? Which happens?
Right, okay, hold that thought. If the website crashes, that's a whole other story. But now, President Uhuru Kenyatta says he has no regrets over his decision not to attend the presidential debate and maintains he's glad that he decided to give the event a wide berth. The president says that he watched the debate on television and thanked God for telling him not to attend. Uhuru was scheduled to engage his main rival, NASA flag bearer Raila Odinga, who turned up for the debate and had all the time to outline his agenda, to make promises and defend himself over various accusations.
Kama mwenzetu alikuwa mtu wa kazi, badala ya vita na makelele, angeungana na mzee Kibaki, yale tuwafanya leo ingekuwa imefanywa jana. Ndio sasa angesema yeye ni mtu. Lakini yake ni mabishano, yake ni consultation. Alafu jana, sijui kama mlisikia na nilicheka. Jana anasema ya kwamba ati ufisadi ulikuwa unaendelea, lakini yeye hajafanya chochote kwa sababu alikuwa coordinator peke yake. Hiyo ni muda wa kunepo. Yeah. Derano yetrega ndio kai imekuja na digali.
Right, so Uhuru there saying that he's thanking God for telling him not to attend. Danish. What are your thoughts?
That's the problem when you're leading a country where people are not holding you to account. You're leading a country where you're going to be voted for, regardless of whether you give us a record of what you've done or tell us what you're going to do in the next 5 years, when people are excited because you're from their tribe or you talk their language or probably like that. Because it is extremely painful that for the last 4.5 years, all the Kenyans wanted you to do, you've invested billions into building a portal. You have given us PDU adverts for the last like a month. You have painted the town with the colors of your party, telling us that I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Yet 90 minutes alone, where 9.5 million Kenyans tuned, you do not have the audacity to come and honor them, to come and tell them what you've done. Absolutely hogwash.
But if he had done all that, as you say he had done that, maybe 90 minutes was neither here nor there for him, Sarah.
No, but I mean, remember, this is 2017, so we're using different platforms to enumerate different things that you've done and reaching an audience that you've been reaching on other platforms, but now you've got an even bigger, better platform. And for him to say, he's not being truthful for him to say he thanks God that he didn't attend. So why all the chatter all of a sudden? Yeah. Why are you commenting about it? Let it rest. Let it go. You didn't attend, that's it. Let whoever who attended crow about it. You move on with what you think you want to do. I think that would have been the best thing to do. I think this was a miscalculation on the part of the presidential campaign team, and now they don't know how to get out of it. So now they want to say it wasn't worth it. Okay, it wasn't worth it. Let it rest. Don't comment about it. Move on, guys, with what you were doing.
Fair point, Sarah. And also, but perhaps he was thinking that his record, or their scorecard as Jubilee, speaks for itself, perhaps. Danish, stop smiling like that, eh? I'm just saying, that could be what was going through their minds, that we've done all these things the past 4 years. I really don't need to come and defend our record, Betty.
I think that he is unwilling to be challenged on his record. I think that he has had podiums over the last 4 years and in the last few months where he's spoken unchallenged, and even when he's speaking to journalists, because there was one particular show, I remember speaking to Swahili journalists, and they never really challenged him. That particular debate was designed to challenge the candidates on their records, on their promises, and on their vision for Kenya. And as you saw during the 90 minutes, I don't think Raila Odinga had an easy time at all. In fact, as we recall, he even confused people's names, and we let it go because he's an old man and it's a hot seat. But having said that, I believe the person who turned up shone in the moment, and the person who didn't should do as Sarah said. And you know what? It wasn't a party I wanted to attend, so why are you talking about it? Let it go. If you didn't attend the party and you thought it wasn't worth going to,
first the repercussions.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
It's true. It sounds a bit like Donald Trump, where
Donald Trump would have taken the opportunity and
actually,
everything.
Fantastic. My plans are fantastic.
Fantastic, and
but
perhaps
our brother,
gone on Twitter.
Remember on Sunday, he held his own audience, had his own chat, had his own questions, answered his own set of questions that he wanted on his Facebook Live, and therefore there was no need to come and answer the questions Kenyans wanted.
Well, he had about 3,000 questions, I think, on Sunday, Danish, and I think he answered less than 10. So even that didn't go as well as expected, Rajab.
I think is, as I said last week when the other deputy presidents failed to turn up, he's taking Kenyans for a ride. This is what we call in Swahili madharau. Because this is a man who's been in charge of my taxes as a Kenyan, and I expected him to explain to me as a Kenyan how many jobs he's created for people in my age brackets. He claims that he's created jobs on the platform, on the portal. He's built dams, he's built roads, even stadiums he's built on the portal. This was an opportunity where they will interact with these facts. But he ran away from it. I think just like any other politician, they love the monologue, where they lie on the podium and people clap because these are organized rallies where they bring their sycophants to cheer them. They don't like organized debates like the one we were seeing. So,
well, we did have one presidential candidate who actually did want to
participate. But
he knew it wasn't going to come.
But I'm so much concerned about the man in charge, who is in charge of my taxes as a Kenyan. Not the opposition leader, because the opposition leader is not the commander-in-chief.
Right. Before you go ahead, Sarah, let me just carry this conversation forward, because speaking at a campaign rally in Nyeri County, President Uhuru Kenyatta lamented about the media, how the media had treated him in 2013, saying that the Fourth Estate denied him support in the general election. Uhuru Kenyatta lamented about how he had been treated, saying that the Fourth Estate did not give him the due support in that general election. And he added that he didn't care whether they supported him this time around or not, because only voters had a say in who would become the president. Uhuru urged Kenyans to come out in large numbers come August 8th in order to secure the Jubilee government another 5 years.
Huyu mwenzetu ambaye hata jana alikuwa anamwangalia tu huko akiongea. Tukasema unajua wenzetu huko wa magazeti wanafikiri wanatisha wengine. Mimi niwaambia hata 2013 hawakuniunga mkono. Hata safari hii wakikataa kuniunga mkono, shauri yao. Mimi najua ya kwamba kura ni wananchi milioni 45.
Right, so our president, they're skipping the debate and then now lamenting that the media didn't treat him well in 2013, doesn't believe he's being treated fairly. As I say, he has echoes of Donald Trump-like behavior, not attending the debate and then feeling bad about it and then saying the media is not on his side. Danish, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, as a journalist, I feel really bad that we've seen for the last 4 years a consistent attempt to cut down the civil society, to cut down the media by saying ni ya kuweka nyama, and by just taking away its credibility in the hope that eventually it collapses, therefore they will not be held accountable. But the president is one of the biggest shareholders in the media industry in this country. Why is he investing in something he doesn't believe in? Secondly, he has flooded the media with his adverts on PDU. If he doesn't believe in the media, why is he giving them money actually to be able, 30% of revenues from all the media come from the government? If they don't believe in that, why then don't they introduce cloud advertising so that they no longer have to advertise on anything? I mean, it is painful that there are people who will cheer him as he says things that are extremely outrageous in a country that people sometimes don't even question what these leaders say. And as journalists, I want to urge us all that we must hold these leaders accountable, whether they're the opposition leaders, whether they're presidents. Our work as a journalist is to go ahead and report objectively, and therefore even question them objectively. I am disappointed.
You raised very good points there, Danish, about all the ads that actually flooded the media the day after that he didn't turn up for the event. So if we could kind of try and delve into his way of thinking, Sarah, what might be his motivation for not attending this debate, beyond saying that he wanted to launch projects as opposed to debating with Raila?
I think it's the same thing we've been saying here for the past few minutes. He just didn't want to be challenged. And there are very many things he stands to be challenged on. Corruption, the lack of food right now, the scarcity of food, high cost of living, and very many other things. And the promises he made in 2013 that he didn't keep, starting with the laptops and many other things that he hasn't done. I don't want to enumerate them. I think we all know them.
He launched Asians, though, so.
Which is okay. But on the flip side, let me cut him some slack. This is his perception. He says the media didn't support him. That is his perception. There's no politician in Kenya who will stand today and tell you the media is on my side. 1 week, no, even by the hour. Oh, that media house doesn't like me. Tomorrow is like, you people are okay. The next day, you people are very bad people. Now, the president has shareholding in a media house. So he had an entire platform, from radio to TV to print, paper, plus MyGov. That's his. He needed to do what he wanted to do with it. He didn't. Now you turn around and blame private media for not supporting you. It's not their role to support you. It's to hold you accountable. It's to tell wananchi what to tell you or what to follow, what you are doing or not doing. So the media really, there's really no question of whether they are supporting him or not.
Right, but perhaps in 2013, if we hark back to 2013, the ICC thing was really the biggest issue of the day, and even the international press came down really hard on the president. So is he justified at all, Betty, really quick?
Okay, to be honest, the question is, what does he mean by support? He had a lot of coverage, as you have mentioned. The ICC was a critical case at that time. There was no single day on any media house that Uhuru was not part of the news. So I don't understand what he means by support. support? Does he mean that they didn't write favorable stories?
Endorse.
They didn't endorse him? And that's not their job. Like Sarah said, he has many portals. He has his own media house. Right. He could get the support from wherever he wanted. That is not an excuse not to turn up for the debate.
All right, now moving forward, the latest opinion polls have placed National Super Alliance presidential candidate Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta neck and neck in the State House race. A July poll conducted by Infotrack places Raila marginally ahead of Uhuru with a 47% popularity rating, compared to Uhuru's 46%. At the same time, a poll by Ipsos puts Uhuru ahead with a 47% popularity rating, with Raila trailing him at 43%. Well, with just 12 days to the general election, if even the pollsters are undecided, the election remains difficult to call. Right, opinion polls, are they really reflective of what's going on in people's minds? I believe Infotrack said that they polled, I'll start with you, Rajab, they polled registered voters, and Ipsos just polled, I suppose, interested Kenyans. But the disparity is very interesting.
I think opinion poll is a science, and a science also sampling, and the timing also matters a lot. For Ipsos, Tom Wolf and his team did the polls 2 months ago. And Infotrack, they did a month ago. And they sampled voters, registered voters. These other fellas, they sampled anyone on the streets. So which pollster will you trust? Personally, I'll trust that one. I look at the sampling technique and how many people are sampled.
Are you sure you don't trust the one which is in favor of your candidate?
No. Which candidate is my favor? Because I do research. I'm doing research as well. I do research. I love it. Right. And it's a science. You look at the sampling technique and when was it done? Right. Even if you do a polling today after the presidential debate, you will get different results. Right. So for me, I think I'll trust the Infotrack for now and say if elections were called today, I think we will have, someone will get 50+1 because the 6% undecided either will vote for Uhuru Kenyatta or Odinga.
Then give or take 2%.
Yes, and they will get 50+1 because I doubt if we will go for a rerun. If you look at Infotrack statistics.
Right, okay, but sticking to polls and what they represent, there's been very many parallels in this program alone with the American system of government because remember with Hillary Clinton, the polls were overwhelmingly in her favor.
Yes, but I can't say that looking at this, you will say someone will win. Right. Opinion polls are just opinion.
So should we take them very seriously?
I did a lengthy research on this. First of all, who pays these pollsters? What are their qualifications? Are we having marketers doing social science research? What is their motive? What is in it for them? The timing, though, do we have a board that vets pollsters before you get your certificate of operation? So there are a lot of credibility issues, both with Ipsos and Infotrack. I cannot sit here and defend either. My worry is that some of these pollsters might begin to paint pictures in people's minds and give them ideas. So if these ideas are not translated into reality, we might have a polarized nation.
Right, very quickly, Sarah, because, sorry, Danish,
I don't want to go into the science because I might not get it right, but I always take opinion polls with a bag of salt. A huge bag of salt. An entire bag of salt, not just a pinch of bag. They're just that. The right word there is opinions. It's somebody's opinion. And apparently, we all keep flip-flopping. Today, I'll be pro. The next day I'll be anti so-and-so. And come voting day, I don't know how people vote, but it will turn out how it will turn out. So I don't believe.
Right. Well, that's the subject of our Twitter poll tonight. We're asking you, do you think opinion polls truly reflect how Kenyans will vote? Do you think opinion